Hello everyone. I was about to say good morning, but it's not the morning. It's 3:30 in the afternoon. Thank you for joining me for Books and Bricks. This book on the screen right now is the book we're going to be looking at today. It's called Hello, Lighthouse. The author is Sophie Blackall. Okay. So she is actually the author and the illustrator of the book. Okay, I'm just going to give it just a few more seconds. I know there's a little bit of a lag on Facebook. Okay, again, it's called Hello, Lighthouse, written and illustrated by Sophie Blackall. And our publisher is Little Brown, Little Brown and Company. So thanks again to Little Brown and Company for letting us use their book during this time when we're being asked to stay at home. They're letting us use their books for read alouds. So we're going to go ahead and get started. On the highest rock of a tiny island at the edge of the world stands a lighthouse. It is built to last forever, sending its light out to sea, guiding the ships on their way. I just realized I forgot to say my name for those of you who are here for the first time. This is Miss Margot for doing Books and Bricks today. Let's go on. From dusk till dawn, the lighthouse beams. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, lighthouse. And there's our lighthouse, and there's a boat there. We made a boat together last week for Books and Bricks. It's still available on our Facebook page if you want to go back there and make one. The new keeper arrives to replace the old, to carry on tending the light. And there's the light. He polishes the lens and refills the oil, and trims the burned end of the wick. Throughout the night, he winds the clockwork that keeps the lamp in motion. During the day, he gives the round rooms a fresh coat of sea green paint. He writes in the logbook and threads his needle and listens to the gathering wind. And there, we'll pull this up a little. He actually lives in the lighthouse. Okay. The wind takes a deep breath and blows and blows. Hello, hello, hello. And there's some birds there too. And the water's pretty rough here. The keeper boils water and drinks his tea as he fishes for cod from the window. He sets the table and hums a tune and wishes for someone to talk to. Every few days he writes a letter and throws it into the waves. And there are the letters in bottles. He tends the light and writes it in the logbook and waits for her reply. The sky grows dark and the waves rise and crash. Hello, hello, hello. Those are really strong waves. And there's the lighthouse keeper. The keeper looks through his telescope. The tender arrives, bringing oil and flour and pork and beans, and his wife. He shows her around the round rooms of their house. He tends the light and writes in the logbook and sets the table for two. Look how she's getting up onto the lighthouse. Wow. There's the boat. The fog makes everything disappear. A bell must be rung to warn the ships. Clang, clang, clang. It's very foggy. It's hard to see the lighthouse. One thick night, disaster strikes. A boat is wrecked on the rocks. Not a moment to lose, the keeper rows out. He pulls 3 sailors from the deep black sea. He tends the light and writes in the logbook and wraps the sailors in blankets. So he saved them. The sea turns into a carpet of ice. Hello, hello, hello. And those look like seal there. One dawn, the keeper begins to sneeze. By dusk, he is terribly ill. His wife is everywhere all at once, running up and down spiral stairs. Spiral, this shape here. She tends the light and feeds him broth and chips ice off the lantern room windows. She sits by his side and writes in the logbook the minute his fever breaks. The icebergs pass by on their journey south. The whales pass by on their journey north. Hello, hello, hello. So we've seen seals and now whales. Inside the lighthouse, the woman walks around and around the room. Her husband boils water and helps her breathe in and out. He tends the light and writes in the logbook and notes the birth of their child. The sky erupts in swirls of green. Hello, hello, hello. And it's reflecting. This is reflecting onto the water. And this might be hard for you to see. Let me pull this up. There is our lighthouse keeper. You can see him through the window. Looks like he's holding the baby. The tender arrives, bringing oil and flour and pork and beans and the mail, along with fresh books and news from the land. There's an unexpected letter with the Coast Guard's seal. The keeper winds the clockwork and polishes the lens, just as he's always done. He tends the light and writes in the logbook, but knows that it's not for long. I wonder what was in that letter. Together, they watch the horizon. There they are on that balcony. The Coast Guard arrives with a brand new light and installs the machine to run it. No lamp to fill, no wick to trim. The keeper's work is done. Now the wick is, you might have seen one that's on the top of a candle if you've got a candle at home. He climbs to the top of the spiral stairs and closes the logbook for good. They pack their belongings into the boat and wave farewell to the gulls. So that letter looks like it's telling him he doesn't have to work in the lighthouse anymore. Beyond the breakers, they all look up. Goodbye, lighthouse. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. On the highest rock of a tiny island at the edge of the world stands a lighthouse. It is built to last forever, sending its light out to the sea. The fog rolls in and the fog rolls out. The waves rise and crash. The wind blows and blows. Hello, hello, hello. Over the waves across the bay, a light on the land beams back. Hello, 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 lighthouse. And there's our lighthouse. Let me pull this over. And there is the light. There is the house across the bay beaming light back. And guess who lives in that house? There is the lighthouse keeper with his wife and their child, the baby that was born in the lighthouse. Okay. And see there up on the shelf, there's the lighthouse, boat, picture of a whale. And that's the end. The back here is just talking a little bit about lighthouses. There are still lighthouses around. Now what we're going to do today, we're actually going to build a lighthouse. So I'm going to move these pieces over. Let me bring this up so you can see. This is actually going to be a pretty simple build to make a lighthouse. I'm probably not even going to use all the pieces that you see here. I may use most of these, but these pieces I probably won't use all of them. I just wanted to have a different variety of colors to use in my lighthouse. Now, if you've got enough, you can use all the same color for your lighthouse if you want. Actually, let me pull this back over. I'm probably, since I happen to have a lot of browns and tans, I may be using a lot of that for my lighthouse. I'm going to use the blue base plate. You don't have to use a base plate if you don't have one. I have this one here, and it reminds me of the color of the water, which we saw a lot of that in the book. So I'm going to be using that. So I need a bottom part to my lighthouse where the lighthouse is going to stand. So actually, I have these 6-piece bricks that I'm going to use, and I'm going to actually build over here in the corner. Okay. So I'm using 2 of those. That's just the base of my lighthouse where my lighthouse is going to stand. And the body of the lighthouse is going to be these 4-piece bricks that I said. As I mentioned, I'm probably not going to use all the ones that I have, that I showed you. But I need to use a lot of them. And I'm just going to put them directly in the center, of the bricks that I've already put down. So I've got a dark brown there. I'm just going to kind of alternate colors. So I've got a dark brown. I'm going to use a lighter brown. Go for a darker brown. I'm just using these, like I said, I happen to have a lot of browns at the moment, but you can use whatever color you want, doesn't matter. Let me turn this sideways, let's see. Looks kind of tall when I hold it this way, but let me see if it's big enough. Now remember, our lighthouse in the story needs to be tall enough so that when it shines its light, the ships that are coming through can see it, right, for safety. I still have the ferry that I made last week. So I'm going to put that over here. Let me hold it up sideways so you can see better. Let's see. they're like the same size, so that wouldn't work probably. We want the lighthouse to be bigger. So I'm going to keep building up, building higher on my lighthouse. So I'm just going to keep adding some more of the 4-piece bricks. Actually, I've got these browns left. I'm just going to add all these browns on. Okay, there we go. Okay, I'm going to bring the book cover back so we can take a look. Remember, I'm trying to get it out of the way of the reflection. The lighthouse has that little bit of a balcony there where the lighthouse keeper can, stand out and look and see what's going on. So we need to add kind of a balcony to our lighthouse here. So I've got some choices here. Got these. Let's see, I'm going to try this one out. That's kind of big, right? Let me move this over. Yeah, that's a little too big, I think, for the size of the body of the lighthouse that we've got here. So what I'm going to do instead is use these smaller flat pieces. Just going to add it here. And that's just how I want my lighthouse to look. If you want to use the bigger piece, you can. Right? Just make sure that you want it to be stable. You can't make the balcony too big and then it knocks over the lighthouse, right? It has to be able to stand on its own. I'm not going to pull this up now, but if I was to pull this up from the base plate, this lighthouse would be able to stand on its own, right? Because I've made a strong base right here. And all of this is not bigger than the base to tumble it over. Let me move this up a little bit. So I've got the balcony there. So I'm just going to add another level to that. Right? See, in the book, we've got another level on top of where the balcony is. I'm out of browns, so I'm just going to go with another color. That's fine. Yeah, let me even add this. All right. And I happen to have this piece, which is a clear piece. So if we had a light, I don't have a light, but if we had a light, that's where it would be shining from. Remember, the lighthouse is shining light out so that the ships that are coming can be warned if there's a problem. So that just goes here on top. Turn it sideways again, so you can see. And here is my boat. As we see, my boat is smaller than the lighthouse, so that works out well. Oops, let me bring it more on screen. And there we go. There is my lighthouse. I no longer have the bridge that we made before in another Books and Bricks, but if I had the bridge, I could put it here, somewhere there too, right? All these things are together on the ocean or on the sea in a lot of places. So thanks for joining me this week for Books and Bricks. There's our lighthouse, our ferry from last week, and we were building from this book, Hello Lighthouse, by Sophie Blackall. Okay, any other Books and Bricks I've done before are still on our Facebook page. You just can go back and look at them if you want to. Just a heads up that next week on Thursday, April 30th, we're going to be doing a bilingual story time. April 30th is Dia de los Niños. It's Children's Book Day. So we'll be doing a bilingual story time and we'll be doing a craft afterwards, a simple craft. For that craft, you'll just need a sheet of paper, scissors that your parent or guardian can help you cut with, and crayons. I think hopefully these are things that you have at home. I've also got this toilet paper tube, but I'm just going to be using this to cut circles with next week for our Dia de los Niños, for the craft story time. So if you have an extra toilet paper tube lying around, you may be able to hold on to it to help you cut circles out next week. Okay? And for any Spanish-speaking families that we have, today at 7 o'clock, we're having a Spanish language story time. Actually, all of this week, Monday through Thursday at 7 p.m., we're having Spanish language story time. So please feel free to join us, or if you know of any other families who might be interested in joining, they can join in. We'll be back here again, or I will be back here again on Facebook Live at 7 o'clock for Spanish story time. All right. Thanks so much for dropping in. I'm going to bring this down. Oops. Let's see. And there is our lighthouse and our boat. All right, thanks again. I hope to see you back here next week, 3:30 p.m. next Monday for another Books and Bricks. All right, stay safe, everyone. Bye.